Joining me now to discuss is Congresswoman Harriet Hageman. Welcome to the show, Congresswoman. Good to see you.
Thank you, Stacy. It's great to be here.
So talk to us about this new bill, this new piece of legislation. It sounds really exciting to me.
So I think that there are some exciting aspects to it, and you listed off several of them right here at the introduction of your show. Yes, it's going to provide additional funding for more ICE agents. It's going to provide for more beds, more detention beds, and it's going to give us the tools that we need to deport more illegal aliens from our country. This is a phenomenal move, step forward in the right direction, and we wouldn't have it without the leadership of President Trump, but there's also several people within our own caucus who've worked tirelessly to make sure that we are addressing the needs of the American people.
So, you know what? I love that. And this is the actual legislation that could have brought in an economic boom during the Biden years, but his obsession with green energy mandates, forcing Americans to buy cars, subsidizing really unprofitable vehicles that were offered by these car makers, Ford and GM. They don't make good EVs. Ignoring the best EV maker we've had so far, which is Tesla. I mean, it's just been so it's awesome, but it's also kind of shocking. Like it shocks the system, Congresswoman, to watch the reversal of the nonsense and to understand that we wasted 4 years pouring billions, trillions of dollars down a green energy hole. Just unbelievable.
Trillions of dollars. And I come from one of the largest energy producing states in the nation. So obviously, energy policy is extremely important for me and the people that I represent. I'm just going to give you a couple of metrics that I think are important for people to understand what happens when you start deflecting and applying revenue and in ways that you shouldn't be. So I was just on the ninth floor of a coal fired power plant in Colorado Springs. And while I was up there, I was looking across the road, and there was a solar farm over there. And so I started asking the manager of this facility, so how much energy do you produce here? And he said 200 megawatts. And I said, what is it across the road? And he said 150. I said, how many acres of land? What's your footprint here? And he said, about 300 acres. I said, how much is it over there? And he said 1,500 acres. And I said, and what is the efficiency here? And he said between 82 and 85%. I said, what is the efficiency over there? And he said 22%. And the fact is, you can look at that, and the unit of land necessary per unit of energy produced is something that we never talk about, but it's absolutely off the charts when you compare oil and gas and coal and uranium versus wind and solar. And you really cannot compare the two. And in places like Wyoming is where that they're constructing these. We're taking good, fertile farm and ranch ground out of production to build industrial, what are essentially industrial farms all over my beautiful state, and they don't even produce sufficient electricity to account for the amount of energy that went into their construction in the first place. We have to stop going down this road of thinking that we can power our economy and our country on wind and solar. We're using more energy today than we used yesterday, and we're going to use more energy tomorrow than we did today. We have to be able to be at the forefront in terms of AI, in terms of data centers, yet every single policy that came out of the Biden administration was the exact opposite of what you would do if you actually cared about your people and their well-being.
Oh my gosh. So as you were laying out those statistics, Congresswoman, I feel like that should be on every single utility bill that you receive, whether your plant is actually delivering that efficiency you discussed, and then a comparative, basically the same thing you get when you go to Edmunds or you go to KBB or wherever you're looking Auto Trader. You can put 3 to 5 vehicles up and you can see their efficiency. You can even do this on Amazon with a desk chair. How much taller is this chair? I mean, everybody does this except the most important, crucial elements of keeping a society like this one, a rich, wealthy society, a carbon rich society, actually keeping it up and running. And that is just to know the numbers that you just shared. Also, I have never, in all of my years of doing this and all of my years of being an adult, which are now becoming considerable, heard a Democrat explain anything and use a cost comparative metric. This is how much more efficient this is than that, or this is how much more land this uses than that. They don't even know, like you basically spoke Chinese to them just then. Unbelievable that we don't have this kind of efficiency in all of our representatives, the ability to just talk about this.
Well, and keep in mind that when you're talking about solar and even wind to a certain extent, but with solar, 8 to 10 hours a day, they have a catastrophic failure because the sun goes down. So every single day for every single solar farm across the United States and the world, there is a catastrophic failure for a third or more of the entire day because there is no sunshine. And also keep in mind, if you built four more solar farms, if you expanded them fourfold, you would still have 22% efficiency because the sun doesn't shine all the time, and at least 8 to 10 hours a day, they're not being powered by solar energy. Whereas if I built four more coal-fired power plants, I would have four times the energy being produced, four times the electricity being produced. So again, when you start comparing the real cost of these things, there really is no comparison. In addition to which, oil and gas and coal, our affordable, reliable energy, is why we have the prosperity that we've had for the last 100 years. Our lives changed so dramatically in the last 100 years compared to the previous thousands of years, and the reason is because of the commercial production of affordable energy. And I am just horrified when people talk about, well, maybe we ought to get used to brownouts, maybe we ought to get used to blackouts. You want to talk about bringing back foodborne illnesses, you want to talk about decreasing life expectancy and increasing infant mortality rate, just start making it so we don't have reliable electricity. That's the quickest way to do it. But they don't talk again about those kinds of metrics. They talk about something that's going to happen 100 to 125 years down the road.
They do. And Congresswoman, I always respond. It's my new thing that I say when someone says, well, that's just the way it is. No, that's the way it is for you. That's the lifestyle that you wish to maintain. And so you should go live in a community where you only have intermittent energy, where you only have, just go live that way yourself. And whenever I say that, I've never once had the person respond by saying, you're right. I would like to live in a community like that. No, they'll say, well, I mean, all of us know, you speak only for yourself, and they usually back off of it because they realize what they're advocating doesn't make sense. It's
It doesn't.
nonsensical.
Doesn't make sense, and and really some of the decisions that have been made by the UN and other countries who have gone down this road around the world, it really is wreaking havoc on the lives of their citizens. Look at Germany. Germany has deindustrialized because of their obsession with green energy and their obsession with global warming and climate change. You look at our European cousins, and they're literally before our eyes destroying the prosperity of their very own citizens because they're obsessed with Greta Thunberg or whatever her name is, and the nonsense that she spews. It just doesn't make any sense. But I think we're getting some common sense back into the discussion, and that's why I'm excited about the reconciliation bill, because we're going in the right direction. We're focusing on what is good for the American people.
I agree. And so, with that in mind, what should we expect? And do you need anything from us? Do you need constituents across the country, not just people in your great state of Wyoming, but people across the country to call into their legislators, or should there be emails, or are we good where we are? What's our status? Okay.
No, I think it's all of it, Stacy. I think people need to be reaching out to their representatives now, and they need to be saying it's not perfect by any means, but it is better than where we are right now. And that's what we have to do. We have to keep moving forward. We have to keep putting good policies in place. And these are good policies. Does that mean we're done with for the year if we get this across the finish line? No, I've got about 25 bills out there right now that I want to keep moving forward with that will continue to address the issues we have discussed today: immigration, energy policy, those sorts of things. But this is a good bill, a once in a lifetime opportunity for the Republicans to deliver on the promises that we've made.
I can't wait to see this passed. If the Democrats can get their crap bills passed, certainly we can get a big, beautiful, gorgeous deportation and good energy, coal energy, like real fossil fuel energy. Surely we can get that passed. Congressman Hageman, I love your online social media. I love your work in Congress. I've been so pleased to see you join that group and put steel in their spines. Please keep working for us, and thank you for joining the show.
Thank you, Stacy.